The Hodge Twins are the latest to roll out the red simp carpet for the self-confessed sex-trafficking child predator Andrew Tate. Ever since prosecutors in Romania allowed Andrew and Tristan Tate to travel to the United States, we have seen Patrick Bet-David and the PBD podcast crew and Kyle from the Nelk podcast bring disgrace to their families by allowing Tate to spread lies and propaganda about his multiple ongoing human trafficking cases to their audiences. Now the Hodge Twins are the next degenerates to step up to the plate. The issue with these podcasts isn't necessarily them speaking to and platforming Tate, but how they do it. Tate is accused of incredibly serious crimes. For example, he's charged for raping a 15-year-old girl and trafficking a 17-year-old girl into webcam pornography. And these people give him an open, uninterrupted, unchallenged platform to spew ridiculous lies about his cases. And that is what I'm going to analyze in this video. I'm going to count exactly how many lies the Hodge Twins let Tate tell about his cases. I'm going to show you the extent that the Hodge Twins and many before them have not just platformed Tate, but actively facilitated and helped him spread lies and propaganda and cause confusion about his many criminal and civil cases. In this video, I'm not going to show receipts debunking each lie. It would take forever, but every one of these lies at this point I've debunked many times on my YouTube channel and on my Twitter page. So if you want clarification on what the truth is about any of these particular lies, you can find them if you do a search there, or feel free to ask in the comments and I'll point you in the right direction. I'm recording this before I'm going through this whole podcast to do this, and I'm not looking forward to it. But before we get into this, if you'd like to support me torturing myself more while making more videos, you can join as a member or buy Gadget a coffee. The links are in the description. Okay, let's find out exactly how degenerate the Hodge Twins really are.
I played the Romanian legal system.
Right.
I bust my case under Joe Biden in a Romanian court. I'm going to repeat that. I want people to understand how impossible that is.
Right.
Because I beat my case in a Romanian court under Biden. They're saying all this shit with Trump, blah, blah.
Trump
under Biden,
didn't say that.
Yeah, well, Trump didn't help me. He wasn't in power when I bust my case.
Right.
And then eventually they reduced the bail restrictions. After 3 years, I don't know why anyone's surprised. 3 years I was trapped there. After 3 years, they say, okay, you can have his passport, you can travel. I decide to go home, and the Floridian governor and the AG decide to instantly attack me. And I sit there and I go, I've been in Florida 7 days in my entire life. So I don't know what fucking case. I don't know what they're going to do.
What jurisdiction do they have?
Well, I haven't got a clue. So I guess they're just going to start running all over the world, sending letters to everyone.
Right.
But it's kind of incredible. I don't know.
Right.
But when a famous person is attacked with these kind of accusations, loads of victims come forward. Name anyone. Hundreds of victims, new lawsuit, victims. I'm 3.5 years in with the most media spin of any case ever without a single girl coming forward. Every girl they get hold of is like, nah, he's nice. I like him. I like Andrew. I defended you, baby. Can I see you? No one's against me.
Right.
It's the government who's against me.
Right.
It's the government who's against me and my women. We're all on one side.
Right.
It's completely incredible. And they just totally turned on me. Candace said it was because I defended Palestine. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but when people say, oh, he only bust his case in Romania because Romania's corrupt. Well, then that means them arresting me was corrupt. Either it's all corrupt or none of it's corrupt. If it's not corrupt, I'm innocent because I bust case. If it's corrupt, I shouldn't have had a case.
Right.
But the media was constantly slandering us so heavily before the arrest. I said to Tristan, they're just setting the public up to put us in handcuffs. That's what they do. They set things up.
Right.
I like to think that when they put me in handcuffs and start dragging me around, there's enough people with a brain to go, bro, he's been in Florida 6 days. What the f*** has he done? PBD podcast and f***ing sleep? I would argue that I'm one of the most innocent men on the f***ing planet. You put any other man through the shit I've been through the different federal agencies.
You're like Trump.
I'm one of the most innocent men on the planet. Why don't we get Hunter Biden, put him through what I've been through?
I do. I think those allegations have to be fully investigated. And
they were fully investigated in Romania, and they let me go.
We don't tolerate or frankly, the abuse of women. We do not tolerate that.
What fucking abuse? What woman? Who?
Finds cause under Florida law to investigate that.
I'm sitting in this scenario, and they're saying, oh, the abuse of women. I'm sitting there going, who the fuck are we even talking about? Because I don't know who we're talking about. They keep saying the abuse of women. I keep going to court. Every single woman's on my side. The abuse of who? Who have I abused? They're saying that the mothers of our own children, who we have kids with, that we lover boy method, so by being nice, and financial incentives. So wait, being nice to the mother of my baby and giving her money? Oh, fuck it. So I finally do the white thing. I finally take care of my kids.
Right.
And they fucking call me a human trafficker. No wonder the brothers out here are like, well, I'll catch a case.
Right.
And these people are walking around talking about the abuse of women. The abuse of who? Name a woman.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Yeah.
They just say bullshit. They just spout garbage. I can just bring this up for the rest of human time. Well, Florida investigate me, and Florida found nothing.
Right.
So the Romanians failed, the British failed, the Floridians failed. Like, how many people are going to allow? I guess for the rest of my life, this is going to be my life.
Right.
So I have to live as clean as possible, which is what I do. I don't do anything wrong.
Right.
I'm Mr. Squeaky Clean.
Right.
I like, he doesn't know he ain't read my Romanian indictment. Neither has the convicted felon or the short motherfucker. Or the AG. And if the AG wants to read it off the Romanians, he can. But it doesn't make a difference because a Romanian judge has already said, no, this is trash.
Yeah.
A Romanian judge has said that. So I don't know what they intend to do. It is scary. If we get serious about it, it's actually truly heartbreaking and very scary that an American citizen can return home after being unfairly imprisoned under a questionable judicial system. Let's not sit here and pretend any of us trust the fucking Romanians. I'm in the position where they'll do anything they can just to perp walk me.
Right.
They don't need a fucking case. They're just like, let's just put him in handcuffs. Let's call CNN. Let's just put it on the fucking news. I got arrested in May of 2022 or something. They let me go after a day. And they said, this is bullshit. There's no case here. It's like, okay. And then the UK Foreign Office, which I know this to be a fact, sent a bunch of letters to the Romanians saying, we want this guy off the internet. We think he's a problem. He's a big problem in our schools.
Right.
So my case, I was arrested in like May or something. The case laid completely dormant until the UK Foreign Office letters started coming in. Then they picked up the case again, and they started to just come up with any trash they could. It was interesting because the first 2 weeks I was in jail, I didn't even know what I was charged with because it was all in Romanian. I was like, yeah, happy Merry fucking Christmas. So I'm sitting in Romanian jail.
That's right, you were in jail for Christmas.
I was at Christmas and New Year. I'm sitting in jail. I didn't even know what I was in there for. And a Romanian jail. It's not like these jails.
Right.
Inside of, we were going to all these different court trials, and it turns out all the evidence against us was illegal. They illegally wiretapped us. They lied in the translations. Like, bro, they literally lied in translations. I'd say to Tristan, kick him out. And they changed it to kick him and charged us with violence, inciting violence. They just lied. They just lied.
Crazy.
So the whole thing was a setup, and we started winning in court. When we started winning in court, then the Brits tried, because I don't know if you know my whole thing. I got arrested again for 24 hours, and the Brits tried to extradite us. And I was like, okay, what are we getting extradited for? They're like, in 2009, you attacked a woman. It's like, what do you mean attacked? Don't know. It says violence. It's the Romanian guy. He goes, it says violence against women in 2009. I'm like, what woman?
2009?
Yeah. I was like, what woman? Doesn't say. Where? Doesn't say. When? Doesn't say. It says attack against a woman in 2009. Extradite. So I guess they've gone through my whole past and found some bitch from 2009 who wants a payday. And they hit me with this extradition warrant with no details. I don't know who this person is. I don't know where it happened. I don't know the date. How do I defend myself? Do you have a statement? I was like, me give a statement. You give a statement. You tell me in 2009. Fuck it, even if you told me the date, I wouldn't know where the fuck I was. I don't know when this was, where this was, who this is. What can I say? This is bullshit. The Romanian judge said this is garbage. We're not going to extradite him. We're going to keep him in Romania to finish his Romanian cases. And when they finish, then we'll consider extraditing him to the UK. That was that shit. Then the Romanians hit me with a second case. And it was the first case reordered. The first case in a different order. Literally, same people, same event, same time, same everything. But instead of Andrew and Tristan did this, it was Tristan and Andrew did this. Fucking garbage. Arrested us again, back in jail again. And then after all this, we're now 2.5 years in. Then our first case got to something called the preliminary chamber. So basically, a judge decides if there's enough evidence to go to trial. So after 2.5 years, we didn't even know we were gonna have a trial. After 1.5 years locked in my house, 4 months in jail, complete reputation slander, all my cars taken, all my money taken, everything taken off me. Then they finally get to preliminary chamber. The judge looks at it and goes, yeah, this is bullshit, and send it back to the prosecutor. After all that shit, the case was dismissed. She goes, there's too many irregularities in the evidence. Basically, this is fake. This is made up. They sent it back. This was in December. And traditionally, when this happens in Romania, you get all your assets back and your bail's removed. traditionally, right? They go, okay, well, the case got sent back, so the case is effectively over. The prosecutor can try again by law if he wants to. He can try again. But you get all your assets back and the bail's removed. In my condition, they kept all my cars, kept all my stuff, and kept the bail. So
how much was that valued at?
18, 19 million?
Wow.
Of cars, gold, watches, cash, everything they could get their hands on. I mean, that's nearly 5% of my money. I was pissed.
Only 5%.
Imagine in Romania, if a prosecutor sends a case to court, they say it's all fake, it's all made up, this can't go to trial, and they give it back to him and say, we'll keep him on bail, try again. Here's years of his life, try again.
They're treating you like Epstein.
Bro, well, no, they're not treating me as good as him because he gets away with it.
Yeah.
He gets to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. Do you realize how popular you are?
Yeah. Like, let's be honest. Like, I want to be perfectly honest with you, gentlemen. I've thought about this long and hard. I had about a year and a half in my house to think about this. And I'm sitting here thinking, do I stand a chance of a fair trial? Bro, when I bust my case in Romania, when I walked out the courtroom and we'd won, I was like, what the how? I mean, obviously I knew I was innocent. Obviously I knew it was made up, but I was like, they did all this and then let me win? It seems illogical to me for them to go through all this mess to then let me walk. Now, that's logical if law is real, but I don't believe law is real.
Yeah. Right.
He said, you're the only guy in the history of Romania who's ever spoken against the system and walked. Because you're the only person to ever do that, ever. And now you've beaten it. So all they have to do is just get a phone, call 100 women who you've ever slept with, call 100 of them, and find one bitch. One. With me, they couldn't even find one. That's why they really hate me, because they keep trying. If I had to predict the future, which I'm pretty good at, because I was saying I was going to get arrested. I don't know if you saw my old podcast. I kept saying they're going to arrest me. You have 3 lives. I kept saying they're going to arrest me before they arrested me. You have to see the positives of all these things, because once I bust it, then I'm going to have another accolade of innocence, and I'm going to be more well-known and more famous than I ever was. Well, even then, even from a personal perspective, he has a huge problem with me because 12 years ago, I used to have a webcam studio, which I've talked about at length and explained at length. Yeah. And it turns out I was actually in the worst jail. It's like Russia. As long as I don't go to Russia, I've done the worst jail you can do.
Yeah. Right.
Very safe place. Why? Because if they even sniff you've done anything, jail. They don't care. Right. That's how they do it. I think you might be right. I think the prosecutor is after me in Florida as a Jew.
Yep. Really? Is she?
And it's these same liberal NGOs, by the way, that are fucking launching law attacks on me. By the way, every time I find myself in court, the lawyers on the other side are sponsored by a liberal NGO. You know what was really interesting? Every time my brother and I walked in and out of court, there was like 500 cameras. And then when Elon started dismantling USAID, one day we went to court, no cameras, not one. But they're saying no. Human trafficking is convincing someone to move somewhere else so you can financially benefit. I'm like, what, hiring somebody? What, convincing somebody to move somewhere else so you can financially benefit? That's what McDonald's does to its fucking workers. Come here to work and I'll give you money. That's human trafficking effectively. And they're saying that I human trafficked with the lover boy method. You know what that is? Being nice. Oh, so I said, hey, yeah, sure, no problem. We're together, yeah. You want a handbag? No problem, I'll buy you a handbag. So because I was nice to her and I financially incentivized her because I bought her a present, I'm a human trafficker.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. My point is they can apply that to anyone. Have you ever bought a girl a present? Boom, you're a human trafficker. So, and they did try to do it with Matt Gaetz. I looked in a little bit into his file. They're saying, oh, he paid her because he gave her a handbag or some dumb shit. You can't buy a girl a present. If you don't buy her a present, you're an abusive misogynist. And if you buy it, you're a fucking human trafficker. What did I say about the dualities they put on top of everything on purpose to make it impossible to exist as a man? So every single man in the West is permanently guilty. I've been in Florida for 8 days in my entire life. So what the fuck is he going to come up with? If your girlfriend flies across state and you give her money and some presents, and then she goes to the police and say, I had sex with him, but I feel like he manipulated me or he tricked me into it. How did he trick you? He was very charming and nice, and he gave me some presents. So he tricked you by being charming, nice, and giving you money. Yeah, okay, human trafficking. You get human trafficking. You will get a human trafficking charge for that. It is against her will because you tricked her by being nice to her. You tricked her by buying her presents. So they're saying it's against her will because she was brainwashed by you because you were charming and you gave her a financial incentive. So they will say in a court that you tricked her into coming and having sex with you via the lover boy method, which is being nice. Do you understand that nobody here hasn't human trafficked? Everybody. So why do they only arrest certain people for this? Because they know everyone's permanently guilty. Everyone here is guilty. Everybody. They just pluck and choose who they want to convict. And if you do buy her a handbag, you're manipulating her because you're a human trafficker. The only way to win is to not talk to another fucking woman alive. Just don't talk to them ever again. And when they attack me with this human trafficking crap, The fact that they did it directly after COVID, on the same day that the Epstein files were first released, they arrested my brother and I. So all of the, when Epstein, it wasn't his Epstein file, what was it?
Epstein's names were released on exactly the same morning they arrested us.
So when you typed in human trafficking, it only showed our names, not Epstein.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And there's people still at home who seem to believe that because we bought a girl a handbag, we're bad people. So if you're going to sit there and think that Andrew and Tristan deserve to go to fucking jail for buying their baby mamas a handbag, you deserve to be a slave. And you will be. Now they're going to continue to do whatever the fuck they want. And anyone who highlights it too much and talks too tough like me is going to catch cases. Let's be smart. This is why I said it was so amazing I beat my Romanian case, because actually, no, you're going to plan the whole thing the whole way through. So how are you going to plan to set someone up, perp walk him, put him on the news, lie about him, come up with a fake charge, and then put it in court and not predict the ending? This is a setup.
Right.
It is a setup, and they're going to arrest me. Plus, I'm not really the running type.
Right.
Like they did with the Romanians when they told the Romanians to get rid of me, and the American embassy didn't fucking help me, and they just left me there. Left me to fucking rot, knowing that was a bullshit case. No, it was made up because they were told to do it. They want to use foreign judicial systems because they're setting up the media to do it, which is why they're talking so publicly.
Right.
It's a fucking setup. It's a setup, and it's scary to a degree. But this has been 4 years of my life now. It's amazing how quickly the human mind can adapt. And any single details on the case, when this bullshit happens, whether I'm in jail or not, I'll make sure you get all of them. And I'm not saying that as an admission of guilt at all, because I've done nothing.
Right.
Especially in Florida. They have jurisdiction in Florida. I have literally not left my house. So I don't have a fucking clue what they're intending on doing. The basic rule of law is, oh, look, we've identified a crime. Let's find who did the crime. It's not supposed to be, look, we've identified a man. Let's find crimes to pin on the man.
Right.
That's communism. And I land home in the country which I was born in, which my father served for, and I'm not fucking welcome. Why? Because a liberal George Soros-funded NGO lied to the Romanian news. And now Ron DeSantis is going to pretend anything the Romanians say matters. Because if it does, I bust my case. If you listen to the Romanians, I'm innocent. So what the
153 lies. That's the Hodge Twins let Andrew Tate spew about his cases as they smiled and nodded and giggled like the useless clowns that they are. Editing that sucked. But I did it to emphasize the point. These people that are platforming Tate are actively facilitating him in running propaganda about his ongoing cases that involve charges for anally raping a 15-year-old girl, trafficking a 17-year-old girl into pornography, choking women unconscious until the blood vessels in their eyes burst as he beats them in the side of the head and raped them. These people helping him are beyond sick. Make no mistake about it, these puff piece podcast interviews are going to look 1,000 times worse than anyone who posed for a friendly picture with Epstein does today.